All right, James, the next game. If the best game was the Kings versus the Northern California, the Kings versus the Warriors, the next best one is going to be the Battle of the Sun, LA Clippers and the Phoenix Suns, because both those places got the sunshine year round, beautiful weather. I mean, I guess Phoenix can get like way too hot, but this game was amazing. And I don't know if you were on Twitter last night. I don't know if you were on Twitter this morning, but from your takeaway of what people said on Twitter, who's the best player in the NBA right now?
Eric Gordon, Kawhi Leonard.
Well, based off of Twitter,
Oh, well, who?
Russell Westbrook.
Oh, Russell Westbrook. Yes, yeah, Russell Westbrook. Wow, what
Based
a
off of Twitter,
strange night,
Russell
man.
Westbrook was the best player in a game where he went 3 of 19. Um, which
Dude, I gotta say, like you fundamentally cannot have had a good game at the NBA level, no matter what else you did. Yeah, he played really hard. He contributed a lot on the glass. It was much better defensively than probably he's ever been in his whole career.
better than
Like
I've ever seen. Like it
no
was
doubt, definitely, lots of credit. But I cannot say you had a good game if you took 19 shots and 3 of them went in. I just think, on principle, you automatically had a bad game. I'm sorry.
I think Seth Partnow had the best tweet in a game where Russell Westbrook went 3 of 19. It's incredible that I can kind of make a case that he had a net positive.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And I think that's what it was, is that Westbrook was so good in the other areas of the game that it was incredibly noteworthy. But the fact of the matter is 3 of 19 is 3 of 19, right? Like that's 16 shots that didn't go in compared to three that did. At a certain point, that's not helping the team. like,
Yeah, I mean that's
especially when you're the Clippers who have good shooters everywhere.
yeah. Yeah. On the flip side, man, the Phoenix Suns got 22 points out of Torrey Craig and they still lost.
Yes.
Let me tell you what I
They're
think
fucked.
is
They're fucked. They're toast. They're
yeah,
bad.
they
Fuck
are.
them. Like fuck them. I'm so I want them to lose. Fuck them. The fact that you think you can win a championship playing like building a team and playing like less than 10 games in a season, that is hubris of the highest order and it deserves to be knocked down a fucking peg. I'm sorry. That's where I stand on that.
Here's the problem, right? The Suns do not have any depth whatsoever, and that's I think going to be a major problem. Like Chris Paul can't really score anymore. He's still a valuable player in my
Yes.
opinion, right? Yeah, like he's still probably a starting caliber player, but he can't really create offense in half court sets that well anymore. So it's pretty much just the Durant and Booker show, which is fine in theory if you had some depth, but they just don't. So to win, like in the long term, they need to have a pretty busy summer in terms of like fleshing this out. Like go get some ring chasers,
Yeah.
go get some guys that are better than like Landry Shamet and Josh Okogie, like real playoff rotation players, you know. But in the short term, I think they're just going to need Durant and Booker to go harder. Like they both had fine games, but they're going to need to have excellent games to escape even the Clippers, yet alone
Yeah.
accomplish what I presume this organization's goals are.
So if I was Monty Williams, or if I was the general manager, if I was the owner, I go to Monty and be like, "You're fucking fired unless you take at least 33 pointers next game." Because this was my biggest concern with the Suns when they built this roster. Is I looked at it and I said, "This team is never going to win the math game. They're going to have to win every game the hard way. They're not. This is a team. This is a roster that's not going to get to the rim to a ton. You're not going to get a ton of layups. You're not going to get a ton of free throws, right? Like when Monty Williams was bitching, like, oh, every team gets more free throws than us. Yet look at the team you have, and you guys foul all the fucking time as well. So like, stop bitching and moaning about your team sucking and making it seem like not sucking, but your team having flaws and making it seem like it's the rest problem. And if you can't do those two things, if you can't get to the rim, you can't get to the line, you have to take a fuckload of threes. I'm sorry, an NBA championship contender in 2023 can't go into a playoff game and take 19 fucking pointers. 2019. This isn't 2004. They're going, if they don't, they have to take threes to get some semblance of the math on their side. And
Yeah, no, you're
I
right.
mean,
This
I'm sorry, but like, if they take 33 pointers in this game, I think they win it. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, you just have to do it. And if Monty Williams isn't going to force these guys to do it, then he should be fired. Because it's like at a certain point, if I coach this team, I was just like, take way more fucking threes. They would probably have a better offensive efficiency than what we're seeing right now. And that's ridiculous coming from a guy who's supposed to be coach of the year candidate.
Yeah, no, but you're right though, man. There's nobody that really draws a double or that there's nobody that collapses the defense here really in the sense
Yeah.
of there are guys that draw doubles. There are two guys that draw doubles, but they don't have a rim pressure merchant who can collapse the defense with the ball in his hands. And it's funny. I looked at this team and all I saw was talent, and I had high hopes for them because I'm just like Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant. How can you lose? But the reality is they got three like jump shot guys really, and none of them are elite at creating rim pressure, and so there's not really a lot of driving kick going on, and like. Yeah, this team's got some questions to ask themselves this summer
Yeah.
for sure, unless they do what we don't expect.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is like maybe we're making too much. Maybe I'm making too much out of one game, but like the thing is this: like DeAndre Ayton is like a massive fucking liability for this team. He could be that north south rim pressure guy, but he just isn't. He's scared. Like I mean, like he literally is scared. Like he needs to be someone where like if I was once again like I'm not an NBA coach, but I would say, hey DeAndre, I want you to get 10 free throws every game. Like that's the goal. Get to the line 10 times. I don't care what your field goal percentage is. I don't care about like how soft your fucking touch is, 8 to 10 feet out. I want you to get the ball and I want you to go right at the rim. I want you to get fouled or commit an offensive foul trying because like he's the guy that they could use based upon all of the attention everyone else is getting to get that kind of downhill momentum, eat into a team's defense because you need like the reason why the rim pressure and 3 point shooting is so crucial is it creates space for everyone else. If you're great in the mid range, let's say I double you, that guy who's doubling you isn't that far from the 3 point line to defend a kick out, and he's not that far from the basket to help if someone gets to the rim. That's why the rim pressure is so huge because it means someone can't get back to the 3 point line. And it's why the 3 point shooting is so crucial because it means someone can't get back to the rim or the paint to help out. And
Yeah.
they have all this gravity in the mid range, but it's like we've spent the last 10 years being like, that gravity isn't that valuable anymore. And yeah, like I'm out on the Suns. I was always out on the Suns. Not always, but like I would more questions. And I'm sorry, but like you get 22 points from Torrey Craig and you're this team, you're this Suns team,
Still
and you
lose.
fucking lose in a game where Russell Westbrook went 3 of 19, right? But we need to talk
Yeah,
about
that's it
Kawhi.
all looks so bad. Like,
And with
so what
also no
happened
Paul
last night?
George, no fucking Paul George. This is
Yeah.
a really like the talk needs to be this is a fucking pathetic ass performance by the Suns. But maybe we should bring up Kawhi Leonard because we haven't even fucking really mentioned.
Can I just
Yeah,
summarize
yeah.
quickly though? Just so if somebody hadn't seen the game and you gave them some details about it, it's like Torrey Craig scored 22 points for Phoenix last night, man. And Russell Westbrook went 3 of 19. Paul George wasn't even playing. We go, oh man, I guess the Suns destroyed them. No, somehow, in spite of all those things, no. And yeah, Kawhi Leonard, huge reason why. And man, look, Kawhi's so weird because like his body just fails him so often. But when he's healthy, he's the same guy that we've known him to be, which is like one of the very best playoff performers in the NBA.
He's better than KD. I'm sick and tired of
He
being
might
like,
be.
is KD the best player in the world? No, because there's Joel Embiid, there's Giannis, there's Jokic, and Kawhi fucking Leonard isn't either of those three guys, and he's better than KD, right? Like, I'm sorry, like 38 points, 38 points in this game on 13 of 24 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3 point range, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, got 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, only 3 turnovers. That's big time stuff. And like if Paul George comes back healthy or comes back and is able to get 100% healthy during their playoff run, do you think this is the year that Steve Ballmer gets to hold a championship trophy and look like a certified lunatic because Let me tell you, his facial expressions after like, obviously big shots in game ones. I mean, come on, if they win the championship, like his head might explode from joy.
It would. I don't think I see that as very likely. I will say though, the Clippers look like a pretty solid candidate to get out of the West right now. But with all their injury concerns and everything, I just have my suspicions that there are a few teams. Whoever emerges from the East is pretty likely to hand them an L. But but they're candidates though, and it's crazy with the way their season has gone. As a Rockets fan, I'm really glad to have this team's first round pick instead of the Bucks' first round pick, and yet here they are, viable NBA contenders. So we'll see. It's
Yeah,
all about, can Kawhi Leonard stay healthy and can Paul George get back? But
yeah,
let's do
and
the last one.
also, can Russell Westbrook sustain?
It's
I just
torrid
did.
3 of 19
I
shooting.
mean, he played like he was on meth, right? Like you're like, this dude's on meth. He can't hit a shot, but he's out here running around like a crazy person playing crazy defense. Eric Gordon, unsung hero from this game, hit some big shots. And this is funny because when he's taking a shot, my brother's like, "Oh, that's got to be Eric Gordon," and I was like, "How'd you know that?" And because like he hasn't watched basketball that much, and he's like, "Well, you always told me Eric Gordon takes the deepest threes, and that was a deep three." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Boom!" He listens because
there you go.
EG, he doesn't need to even hit his threes because he's taking them from so deep. The spacing, the Suns could have traded for him. They could have fucking used that dude. Would have been quite helpful.
Oh
The
yeah.
math, the fucking math. All right, the final first round game. Oh wait, who are we picking? I'm picking Clippers. I'm picking Clippers. You going with Clippers after one game, or are you going to stick with the talent in the Suns?
No, I think I'll go Clippers as well.
Clippers. Clippers have the math, man. It's all about the math, man. Like points, you add up points. Ergo, that's mathematics. Trust follow the math.
Follow the
All right.
math.